Hey everybody, this is Agent 117 and this is going to be my review for Season 1 of Gotham. Now when I first started watching Gotham, it started off pretty slow and we got into the episodal villain type thing, which kind of got a bit repetitive in the first half of the season. And then we got into the story arc of the Penguin, which throughout the first season has been absolutely fantastic. It's been amazing. We've seen the odd snippets from the Riddler and his character development, and that's what I think that's what's going to happen in season 2. I think we're going to see the story arc of how Edward Nygma becomes the Riddler in Gotham season 2, and I hope they do it in the same way that they've done with Penguin in this season, where they just concentrate on him and his story and how he became this villain that we know as the Penguin. Now, there are some issues with this series. I think that the first half of the season was pretty shaky, as I've said before, but the second half it really picked up when we started to get into the character development of each of the characters. I'm going to mainly talk about the season finale because it was a fantastic season from mid-season onwards, that type of thing. But the season finale, the 2-hour season finale, was absolutely amazing. It really was. And it got rid of the characters that we didn't need to see in Gotham anymore. It did. Mainly Fish Mooney. I never liked the Fish Mooney character. I thought that she didn't fit in this series whatsoever. I thought she was just too camp. She was too Eartha Kitt, Catwoman from the original Batman series type of thing to be in this series. I didn't like her character at all. And spoiler alert, she gets killed off in the season finale, which I thought was fantastic, and it needed to happen. As well as I think, is it Don Maroney? Spoiler alert again. He gets wiped out in the season finale too. I thought in the later episodes that Don Maroney was starting to become a little too campish as well, and I just think he needs to go, and they got rid. So yeah, there are lots of people out there that don't like Gotham, and I've got to admit, I got to a point within this series or this show that I thought, do I really want to watch this anymore? Because I was like most people, I couldn't get past the fact that there was no Batman in it, and this is really supposed to be the story about Jim Gordon, and in a way, it's not really. He's not really the main character in Gotham. For me, season 1, the main character, the main protagonist was actually the Penguin in season 1 of Gotham, and the other characters didn't really like the way that Catwoman or whoever she is was going towards the end of this thing when she joined with Fish Mooney. I didn't like that at all. And what the hell was with that look with Fish Mooney in the season fucking finale? I mean, she went from looking like this to looking like this, and it kind of reminded me of the Young Ones. I don't know if anybody knows the Young Ones. It was a comedy series in the 80s in the UK, and a character with the studs on her head reminded me of this guy. She really did. I didn't like the Fish Mooney character at all. Way too over the top, way too camp. And same with Don Maroney towards the end, over the top and camp. And so now we see the Penguin in charge of Gotham, crime-wise. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in season 2 and where they go with all this. We see that the Riddler, he's kind of got this. I don't know if it's the starts of a split personality that's starting to develop with him. That he's so clever that he's actually going insane because of it. But he's kind of like he kills off Miss Kringle's policeman boyfriend who was actually abusing her, and I think he's got a taste for the killing now. I really do, and he thinks that he's being really clever by leaving clues to Miss Kringle in the form of a letter from a suicide. It's not a suicide note. It's a letter saying that oh, I'm leaving Gotham, I'm going away, and that's from her boyfriend who the Riddler killed. And down the edge of the actual letter, Edward Nygma actually leaves a clue by spelling out his name down the side of the letter, and he thinks he's got away with it. He thinks Yeah, you can see that crafty smile on his face thinking, I've got away with this, I've put this clue right in front of your face and you couldn't work it out. Look how clever I am. And towards the end of the episode, she actually brings him the letter and says, have you noticed that down the side of this letter, it actually spells out your name, Enigma? And I thought that was fantastic because the look on Riddler's face when he finds out that she's jumped onto his clue and that she's worked it all out. I think it's going to be interesting in season 2 to see where that goes. It really is. I love Gotham. I've got to admit, there's a lot of critics out there that have been unfairly harsh on it. This is only the first season. There have been lots of shows that have been great that have had a shaky first season. You've only got to look at Star Trek: The Next Generation for that. The first season of that, the wood within the actors within that show was just horrific, and I think it's just perseverance. It's just giving a show a chance and seeing where they're going to take the characters and how these characters are going to develop. There is the exception where shows are so terrible in the first season, you can kind of understand why people don't like it. But I don't think Gotham is one of those shows. I think it has huge amounts of potential to go with all of this. And I particularly like the way they're going with Bruce Wayne in this as well. And there was one particular part within the episode where he sounded just like Batman. He says something that Batman would say, where he says, "Everybody has lies," or something to that effect. And it just made me, what? It was like a little snippet of something that Batman would say. And I'm liking how they're slowly developing his character and showing how he develops these detective skills, which we haven't really seen before, because a lot of people forget that Batman is a great detective. He's like a Sherlock Holmes of the Gotham City. And, I think it's just fantastic. I really do. And I can't wait for season 2 of Gotham. So yeah, this is Agent 117 signing off.
Don't forget to subscribe and like below. Remember, the Batman is watching.